Those of you in the audience who know me probably already know one specific thing about me. I am a huge Sinnoh nut. A Sinnoh cell even. A Sinnoh head? Whatever you want to call me, Platinum has by far the most playtime I put into any single Pokemon game, with most of those hours being far from recent, mostly being put in the game a little after release up until sometime in 2012. At least that's what I can gather from the few Pokemon that managed to escape that initial save file and are still residing in my home. Like my original Lake Trio. The Lake Trio, Misprit, yeah. I remember vividly hating the roaming Pokemon in this game, mainly because I didn't understand the mechanics behind them and even managed to catch my second ever shiny Pokemon just by trying to hunt down Misprit. A silly purple Quagsire lost to the sands of time. Rest in peace, funny fellow. Gone, but never forgotten. Not in my heart. I could genuinely make a full theater-length retrospective just talking about why I love this game, and why I kept coming back to it time and time again after even newer Pokemon games released. But either way, with me being an obsessed galactic-pilled Sinnoh nut, you don't need to ask to know that I've been waiting the most of my life for Game Freak to touch back down in the docks of Canalave. And then, the 26th of February 2021, Pokemon Presents aired this. I swear to God, hearing that boot up sound, genuine chills down my spine. The Diamond and Pearl remake I've been waiting for, and after the very poor taste of these figures that Sword and Shield left in my mouth, this actually revitalized my interest in the franchise entirely. I was screaming with hype watching this live with my friends, and when it instantly followed up with a reveal for Legends Arceus, the Pokemon series enters a new era. Seeing comparatively beautiful graphics, eye-catching gameplay, it was like I reverted back to that kid with hundreds of hours on Platinum then and there, ready to go balls deep back into Sinnoh, ready to unturn any new stone, new area, new mystery, and I was ready to re-experience my favorite game ever with some of my post-Gen 4 favorite Pokemon. I genuinely don't think I'll ever enjoy being a Pokemon fan as much as I did during this period again. Well, until the Sinnoh remakes, I guess. And then, the day came for me to pick up my pre-ordered copy of Brilliant Diamond. The intense downpour of rain falling on my car as I pulled up to my local GameStop surely wasn't an omen, right? No point beating around the bush, we all know how these games turned out. Diamond and Pearl with every platinum improvement stripped away, but all the characters are goddamn Nendroids, with barely enough features added to even justify its existence as a remake instead of an HD port. I genuinely think Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are worse at being remakes than Platinum was, and Platinum released 15 years ago! There's a reason so many tier lists have Platinum in S and Diamond and Pearl near rock bottom. These games should never have been the base for anything after Platinum released, and the fact that they were is just pure mind-boggling. From a business standpoint, hell, any standpoint. Aside from them wanting to continue the trend of remaking the split games instead of the definitive third version, but we all seen how that shafted Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Those games don't even get the chance to exist in any positive online discussion because of how hard Game Freak flipped us off with the Battle Frontier, despite how many positive changes these games brought, and if you go further back than that, Heart Gold and Soul Silver kept most of the important Crystal changes. So what's even the goddamn point, Game Freak? Back on topic. This isn't a video on the shortcomings of modern Pokemon. While it's true I did enjoy getting to re-experience Sinnoh, that only goes to show how good the original games still hold up today. I couldn't manage to get too upset over the state of this game, because at the time I was mainly entirely hyped for Legends Arceus, so I decided that until Legends Arceus released, I would spend my time shiny hunting for my dream shiny Pokemon, Rayquaza. Since my favorite Pokemon spin-off is Conquest, I knew exactly what I was going to name Rayquaza once I caught him, Nobunaga, after the game's main villain who uses his own noir Rayquaza. The only footage I have from doing this soft reset hunt is from clips the Switch was able to take, so sadly I don't have my initial reaction, but I remember exactly how it happened. After weeks of carrying my Switch around consistently soft resetting and 40 hours of playtime added to Brilliant Diamond on my Switch profile, I was streaming resets in a Discord call with some friends, and suddenly... Seeing the pitch black Rayquaza slide onto my screen, hearing the shiny jingle, it was genuinely one of the most hype moments I've ever had in a Pokemon game. And this was the most time I've ever spent on an individual shiny hunt up until that point as well, and actually still stands as my longest hunt till this day. I'm really pleased that I was able to finish this hunt while I had friends watching. It definitely made the final reward that much more cathartic, as well as being what inspired me to do a lot of my future Brilliant Diamond hunts on my Twitch account, such as Feebas and Cranidos. I seem cool. Holy shit! I actually did a lot to celebrate catching this guy, as cheesy as it sounds. I ended up drawing a custom Pokemon card featuring the Rayquaza for a school project, as well as printing and painting a 3D Rayquaza model, which still stands proudly on my bookshelf to this day. So why now choose to talk about my Rayquaza? Well, as many of you probably know, home support was finally added to Pokemon Scarlet and Violet recently, and that brings me to Nobunaga's great ambition, to become the greatest ribbon dragon that ever existed. At least with the Switch exclusive ribbons. Since I caught Rayquaza in Brilliant Diamond, this limited the amount of games I could collect ribbons from down to just Brilliant Diamond and Sword until the recent home update added Scarlet and Violet. So while it won't be possible for me to collect every ribbon ever on Nobunaga, the agreed upon definition of a ribbon master is simply just a Pokemon who's obtained every possible ribbon for that Pokemon to obtain. Cerebi has very useful resources on each game's ribbons that I wouldn't have been able to complete this challenge without, as well as the Ribbon Master subreddit. If you guys would like to try this challenge for yourselves, I'll leave links in the description. But with that out of the way, let's start talking about the different ribbons I had to collect. Starting with the first game I tackled, Brilliant Diamond, the game where I caught Nobunaga. BDSP has a lot of ribbons you can collect on a single Pokemon, with some ranging from very simple, like the Sinnoh Champion ribbon, to pretty difficult, like the Battle Tower ribbon. For my first ribbon, I flew to Sunnyshore's City, where there's an NPC who can give the first Pokemon in your party a ribbon once a day, with a different ribbon corresponding to what day of the week it is. This means if you, say, miss talking to her on a Wednesday, you'd need to wait until the next Wednesday of the next week to get that ribbon you missed. And I forgot to get these daily ribbons on several occasions. Since all 7 of these ribbons are obtained the same way on separate days, I'll add all of them to our ribbon total right away, giving us the Alert, Shock, Downcast, Careless, Relax, Snooze, and Smile ribbons, giving us a total of 7 ribbons for Nobunaga to flaunt. Like I've mentioned earlier, I've actually done a Feebas hunt in these games, which meant I was already familiar with the Poffin system since it's required to evolve Feebas into Melodic. In order to easily crush all the contests, I needed to create Poffins that would optimize Nobunaga's contest stats, so I took out my team of high friendship Pokemon to Amity Square to get baking, and after a few successful cooks, Nobunaga was feeling like the coolest, beautifulest, cutest, cleverest, and toughest Ozone Dragon to ever exist. And while it took a while to complete all the contests, they were extremely easy, letting Nobunaga easily snap the Coolest Master, Beauty Master, Cuteness Master, Cleverness Master, Toughness Master, Contest Star, and Twinkling Star ribbons, turning our total to 14 ribbons. For any of the next ribbons, I would need to spend some time grinding. Whether it was levels or money, there wasn't an obvious next ribbon to go for, so I spent some time grinding Nobunaga against Ace Trainer Ariana on Route 228. Her team consisted of an Ambipom, Rapidash, and a Chansey, which meant easy money and experience, and I also leveled up my shiny Cranidos while I was doing this, evolving it into a red Rampardos. Once Rayquaza reached level 93, I had gathered enough ribbons and money to visit the resort area and purchase the first 2 or 3 ribbons that can be obtained there. For those of you who don't know, you actually need to have 10 different ribbons across the Pokemon in your party to enter the Ribbon Syndicate in the resort area. The Gorgeous Ribbon for 10,000 Pokédollars, and the Royal Ribbon for 100,000 Pokédollars, which brings our total up to 16 ribbons. The Gorgeous Royal Ribbon can be purchased for 999,999 Pokédollars, or the maxed amount of money that you can hold at any given time, meaning even if I grinded enough, I wouldn't be able to buy this ribbon at the same time as the other 2. Before I got back to grinding, I took Nobunaga through the Sinnoh League, easily sweeping through the Elite Four and even Cynthia, giving Nobunaga the Sinnoh Champion Ribbon. There were 2 more ribbons I could grab at this point: the Effort Ribbon, given to you in Sunyshire City for maxing out a Pokemon's effort values, and the Best Friends Ribbon, given to you in Hearthome City for having max friendship with a Pokemon. Getting these 3 ribbons jumps our total up to 19, meaning there's only 3 ribbons left to collect in Brilliant Diamond: the Footprint Ribbon, the Gorgeous Royal Ribbon, and the Tower Master Ribbon. While the Footprint Ribbon is simple enough to get, just needing your Pokemon to have grown 30 levels since it was initially caught. Since Rayquaza is encountered at level 70 in Ramanas Park, I had to get Nobunaga all the way up to level 100. So back to grinding I go, except this time at a new location. One of the best trainers to battle for money in these games are this old couple on Route 212, Gentleman Jeremy and Madame Reina. And since I needed to max out my wallet, I figured I'd probably reach level 100 by the time that happened anyway. After surprisingly only a few hours of bullying the elderly with my anti-albino space dragon, Rayquaza has both reached level 100 and lined my pockets with enough money to purchase the Gorgeous Royal Ribbon. Along with the Footprint Ribbon, this brings our ribbon total to 21, with only 1 ribbon left to collect in Brilliant Diamond, the Tower Master Ribbon. This is by far the most difficult ribbon to get in these games, requiring you to beat Palmer in the Master Class of the Battle Tower, which to unlock the Master Class in the first place requires you to reach and beat Palmer on round 49 of the normal Battle Tower. With the post-game battle facilities usually being the most difficult single-player challenge in Pokemon games, I began to plan out the 3 Pokemon team I would take to challenge the Battle Tower. In the end, my team composition ended up being, of course, Nobunaga, my Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire Shiny Event Metagross, and finally, Zacian. Yep, I am fully serious. Apparently the Tower Master Ribbon given to you by Palmer is the exact same one given to you by Leon after you defeat him for the 2nd time in the Battle Tower's Master Ball tier in Sword and Shield, since the first time you get a special outfit. Doing it in this game was significantly easier to do than in Brilliant Diamond, especially since you did not need to keep a streak going for 50 battles. In Sword and Shield's Battle Tower, you rank up after defeating Leon in each rank and are sent back to the lobby to start in the next rank, basically letting you instantly jump back into the same spot you were if you lose instead of having to start all over from the scratch. Surprisingly, I actually didn't lose even once in the Battle Tower, which was mainly because of Zacian. Seriously, even if the Battle Tower was harder in Sword than in Brilliant Diamond, having access to the stupid meta-defining Sword Dog would still make it a cakewalk. With that, we have our first Sword and Shield ribbon, as well as our final Brilliant Diamond ribbon, bringing our total up to 22 ribbons. Unlike Brilliant Diamond, Sword and Shield barely have any ribbons at all, only having 5 that you can get on any Pokemon, those being the Galar Champion Ribbon, the Tower Master Ribbon, the Master Rank Ribbon, the Effort Ribbon, and the Best Friends Ribbon. Since we already have the Tower Master, Effort, and Best Friend ribbons, this only leaves the Galar Champion Ribbon and the Master Rank Ribbon. But since Passimi decided he'd like to make me suffer, he decided to put off getting the Master Rank Ribbon until Scarlet and Violet, which just leaves the Galar Champion Ribbon to collect in these games. After doing a swift run through the Champions Cup, I get the Galar Champion Ribbon on Nobunaga, making my total 23 ribbons, as well as all the ribbons that can be collected in BDSP and Sword and Shield. And I got that ribbon several months ago. Now that home support is finally out, a whole new game's worth of ribbons is available to me. I'm super excited to absolutely drown Nobunaga in even more, and they barely added any new ribbons, did they? Scarlet and Violet adds 3 new ribbons into the game: the Paldea Champion Ribbon, the Once in a Lifetime Ribbon, and the Hisui Ribbon. Sadly, the Hisui Ribbon is only available to Pokemon who are also able to travel into Legends Arceus, and the Once in a Lifetime Ribbon can only be gained with a 1 in 100% chance on a Pokemon when it's Wonder Traded. And I don't think I really need to make an argument as to why I'm not sending Nobunaga off in the mail to some random little Timmy on surprise trade. With all that said, that means the only ribbon left to get is the Paldea Champion Ribbon. Just like any other game, the Region's Champion Ribbon is as simple as just taking your Pokemon back to the Pokemon League, or in Scarlet and Violet, the Academy's Ace Tournament. Me and Nobunaga make it to the final round. Hazel is the very fitting last roadblock between us and the last ribbon of this challenge, but of course, they're nothing me and my level 100 Ribbon Dragon can't handle. And with him going down, the Paldea Champion Ribbon is finally ours, leaving us with a total of 24 ribbons for this challenge, and making Nobunaga, for all intents and purposes, our Ribbon Master. But why stop there? Sword and Shield introduced a mechanic called marks. While in that game there was only one chance to get a mark when the Pokemon is initially caught, Scarlet and Violet adds in several marks that can be obtained on an already captured Pokemon, those being the Gourmand mark, Jumbo mark, Mini mark, Partner mark, and the Item Finder mark. Although currently the Item Finder mark is completely unobtainable without the use of hacks. It's not known if this is a glitch and will be fixed in a later update, but for now we're going to completely ignore it. Some other problem marks are the Mini and Jumbo mark. While you can get them on a Pokemon after they've been caught, they require specific size conditions to be met. If your Pokemon has the maximum size value, they get the Jumbo mark. With the smallest size value, you get the Mini mark. But if you're anywhere in between those numbers, nothing. No mark at all. Here's to hoping we can get one, or else we'll be down 1 mark in our final total. Okay guys, this is a big moment. We have 1 shot at this. This is already predetermined. There's nothing I can do about it. We're either gonna get a mark here, or we're not. God, let's hope we get one. I want him to be like really big. If he's a max size, that would be so cool. Nobunaga, eh? Let's see here. This one seems a good sight bigger than average. I was really hoping he would be like big. Well, that's 1 mark we're not able to get, or 2, but that'll make our permanent total down 1 lower than it could have been, which sucks. While it's unfortunate Nobunaga doesn't qualify for either the size marks, 2 marks we can actually get 100% of the time on any Pokemon are the Gourmand and Partner mark. The Gourmand mark can be gotten on any Pokemon when you eat any food item with them, whether you make a sandwich yourself or purchase any sort of food item from a shop, and I have this mark on several Pokemon already just from breeding, so I can't imagine it'll be too hard to get on Nobunaga. The Partner mark, on the other hand, requires you to walk around with the Pokemon in the overworld. If the Pokemon's friendship is at 200 or higher, there's a 1 out of 100% chance for this to happen every 10,000 steps that Pokemon takes. You may be thinking, well, that doesn't sound too bad because you need to max out Nobunaga's friendship for a ribbon already anyway. However, that was in Brilliant Diamond. Since this is in Scarlet, Nobunaga doesn't have any friendship with me currently, so before I can even start mindlessly walking with this overgrown space dog, I'm gonna need to make him like me again. It should be easy enough just to feed him until he gets the Gourmand mark and check my friendship from there, so let's get hungry. Okay, check number 2, and I went into the bag again. They should... Oh wait, no, the PC? Not the bag, but close enough. Let's see. Check number 2. Oh, we got it! Nobunaga the Gourmet! Now that we have the Gourmand mark, I can go check Nobunaga's friendship in Cascarafa. There's a girl with a Marill who'll tell us how close we are with our Pokemon, and after checking with my compatibility with Nobunaga, we were already pretty great friends. Guess he's just easy. All it took was taking him out to eat a few times and he's ready for the Partner mark. Oh, if only script writing me knew how untrue that would be. I thought it would be simple enough just to take him for a run around while watching YouTube, so I went to a few different areas in the off chance I'd find a shiny Pokemon. And surprisingly, I actually did. Twice. While trying to get the Partner mark, I encountered Don, a shiny Donphan, and less than an hour later, I found Jin, a shiny Kirlia. While getting these shinies was a nice surprise, after hours of walking Nobunaga and him still not getting the Partner mark, I decided to take drastic measures. For those of you unfortunately in the know, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 featured a system where you could essentially play a gachapon to get different and stronger blade characters, with the top pull, the rarest blade that could take hundreds of hours to even show up once. Cosmos. Since getting Cosmos was such a pain in the ass, there was a surprisingly efficient AFK method thought up that involved using rubber bands to continuously circle a boss that you would set your party members up to easily take out. After a few AFK sessions, I actually managed to get my hands on the elusive rarest rare blade, at the expense of my Joy-Cons. RIP. Having not learned my lesson, I set up a similar contraption except on an actual controller this time, hoping that maybe the only reason this messed up my Joy-Cons last time was because, well, they were Joy-Cons. Seriously, if Cosmos didn't give me stick drift, these things probably would have just broke on their own anyway. After accepting the risk and leaving both the game and Rayquaza running overnight, Nobunaga now has gained the partner mark, leaving us with a total of 24 ribbons and 2 marks for a total of 26. Now all that's left is the Master Rank ribbon, and Rayquaza doesn't qualify. Well, shit. Guess I'm done. Even if it was just among the different Switch games, turning Nobunaga into a Ribbon Master is definitely one of the more fun challenges I did. And while I do think it might have been possible for me to get the Master Rank ribbon if I went for it during Sword and Shield's online days, hindsight's 2020, so I'll just have to hope I can bring Nobunaga into a battle in a future rule set. Out of all the Switch games, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are by far the most rewarding to hunt ribbons in, simply due to the sheer abundance compared to the measly handful of ribbons Gen 8 and Gen 9 have to offer. So if you'd like to try doing this challenge for yourself with only access to the Switch games, I definitely recommend you start here. This was a pretty stark 180 from my usual content, but I had a lot of fun making this video, and definitely plan on making more content like this in the future. If you'd like to see that content, I'd really appreciate if you left a like on this video and subscribe to the channel. If you watched this far, you could at least do me that much, right? But, if I may, just this once. How'd I do? With that, thanks for watching. Ciao!